Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of Unscripted. I'm here with, of course, Bill Apter, and he's back, man. A friend of the show, Kenny Brolin, of course, man. Good to see you again, fellas.
Great to be back, and 22 pounds lighter than the last appearance. So we're heading in the right direction.
Good.
Heading in the right direction.
Yeah, you look at you. You look like you could go.
If we were widescreen,
you look like you can go in the ring now, Kenny.
Yeah, if we were widescreen.
Look at those guns, man. Look at here's my Vince McMahon. Look at him.
Look at
Look at those icons, brother.
All
right, so you know what?
65 and a half, still looking to smack somebody at every opportunity.
Come on.
Looking great. Looking great.
Nice. Well, for 65,
every week.
Every day above ground's a good day, is the way I look at it. Every day above ground's a good day, the way I look at it.
There you go.
That's it.
Yes, indeed. All right, Bill.
Like
what are we talking about tonight, fellas? What are we going to cover?
I'm going to get into this. Every week, Dr. Chris and I, we're best friends, but we butt heads on a lot of different topics because I look at the business as the fan.
Yeah.
And Dr. Chris looks at the business as an analyst. So what I want to know from you, Kenny Brolin, are you still a wrestling fan?
I try to be. I certainly try to be. Not enough of a fan that I bothered to spend the $23 on Netflix, but you know who else does not spend $23 on Netflix? Also goes by the name King, and well, you can't see my crown here unless we went widescreen, but Jerry the King Lawler does not have Netflix and does not think enough about the raw product.
He has Netflix.
Nah, not according to the last time I talked to him. He said he doesn't have Netflix. That's what he said. I don't have it, unless he might be using someone else's account. But yeah, that was just a few weeks ago that he told me he didn't have Netflix. So, and I don't have it. I gave mine up, I think, in January because my free account ran out. So I watch the Peacock. Yeah, I get Peacock for free with some Venmo thing I've got or something. I don't know. Something got me free Peacock. And I watched SmackDown, of course, and then I just watched the Raw, which I haven't even seen the recap show of Raw yet. I didn't even bother to watch the recap show today, which normally wraps everything up in about 12 minutes. Can you guys enlighten me? Did anything worth a crap?
What about AEW? Do you watch that?
No, I haven't watched any AEW in so long. It is not even funny.
You're no.
And like I said, I'm a fan. I sent a clip. I don't know if I sent you one, Bill, with Jerry Lawler and Dutch Mantell from the early 80s. It felt real.
I love it.
I told Dutch the first time I saw it, I thought you two hated each other. He said, no, we were fine. I said, but you watch that and you see why people thought it was real. You watch Papa Shango, the Soul Taker, the countless, the Godfather. He was putting up beating on Lawler, and my God, I don't know if I was able to send it to Dr. Chris or not, but Bill's got it. And it was one of the better segments Memphis ever did. And people that live in other parts of the country said, Kenny, I see why Memphis was so popular. That felt real. I said, well, that was the intentions of Memphis television. Yeah, there was some comedy, but make it feel real. Put enough truth in there that fans had even had to wonder, God, was that real? Was what going on with Lawler and Dundee? Was that real? When they would drag Dundee's wife into the storylines and stuff like that.
I love that type of riveting television.
Oh, yeah, they don't do that today.
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. That was.
They touched on it, though. They touched on it.
You know,
Yeah, because you saw CM
Today I was
Punk
talking
Mike
to
Cena.
when we were doing the time.
There might be. I hear you real time, Kenny. It looks like there's probably a delay with
Bill. Yeah, I think Bill's got me on a delay over there. I don't blame him. I delay me too.
I don't know why. I'm wired. Yeah, I'm wired in here too, which is unusual. We had tornado warnings earlier today.
Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with all the weather issues
is,
going on, and
yeah,
we're showering in Texas right now too. My Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill. You got a question? Bill's his connection isn't the best right now. Yeah, it's frozen. He's frozen now.
Well, at least that explains a few things. I was wondering why I wasn't hearing.
Yeah, I was like, he keeps talking over you.
Well, I do that too. I do that too, but mine's out of rudeness, not because of a delay.
Not from a delay. All right, so let me ask you this while Bill get his bearings here.
Get his stuff together, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? I'm glad that you mentioned the Memphis territories, and I mean just riveting television, the storylines, and that was so compelling and such a huge part of everyday television. Bill will join us here in a moment. What do you think the disconnect is from that type of realness to today's constant match? Not a lot of depth in the product that we see from a emotional standpoint. It seems like most of the emotional aspect is in the ring versus outside the ring.
I've not really had the question phrased to me like that before, but I think I can answer that. It's because instead of entertaining, and which most riveting television from Texas to Florida to Georgia to Memphis, Detroit was studio wrestling. Where do you hail from, Dr. Chris? Where Ohio. So you probably saw a lot of Detroit wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I saw. The Sheik.
You
know, and I used to watch wrestling on Channel 19 in Cincinnati. And every now and then the sunspots would be right, and we'd get TV signals out of Cleveland. And me and Cornette used to be in competition with each other to see what our aerial antenna would pull in. And we must have pulled in 98 cities across the country during the summertime when the sunspots were bad. And we loved it because we could watch the wrestling going on in those areas. And that's how we got to see the Sheik on Cincinnati television. And but if you'll remember back then, everybody did studio wrestling. You were entertaining a studio, and they were either 60-minute or in some cases 90-minute shows. WTBS Atlanta, a 2-hour show, and you were entertaining 150 people at best. And you were building to these arena shows to where there wouldn't be storylines, there would be matches. And the matches is what brought the people in, is what made the money. Now we're trying to do both. We're trying to do studio television in a 20,000 or an 11,000 seat arena, whatever the case may be. And you're trying to get the best out of both worlds the best way you can. That's hard to do because back in the day, I mean, a little bit of Indianapolis with Dick the Bruiser's territory, they didn't really have studio wrestling. They did their stuff in the arenas with Ox Baker, the Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, but the Sheik, Cowboy Bobby, Cowboy. God, I'm blanking out. Cowboy
Watts.
Yeah, somebody's going to get it. And so that was really the only non-studio show going. They didn't really have the stories that the studio shows did, like Memphis would do, Atlanta. But Memphis was the masters at it because Jerry Lawler came on the scene, and once him and Jim White separated from Sam Bass and Jerry Lawler became a single star, Jerry was the master at telling a story and making you believe it. I owe whatever I got out of the wrestling business, I owe to Jerry Lawler because I thought I was the managerial version of Jerry the King Lawler. We already had the wrestling version. My goal when I first got in, when Nick Goulas hired me in 1987 at a Service Merchandise, was to be the managerial version. Nick Goulas offered for me to be the wrestling version. I said, well, Jerry is not going away anytime soon, which living proof of that, he was still wrestling in his 70s is occasionally. But it is hard to do studio wrestling but to show you where they're trying to do it, what did CM Punk do the other day? I would be I don't know what y'all let me get by with language wise, but I'm going to push my luck. I would be pissed too, John Cena, if they hired my ex-wife back and brought her on television. That was that little zinger, and you hear the crowd go ooh and ah, just like they would in a studio TV show. Same thing. So they sneak that little studio thing in there, and if you listen to the crowd, those little pops are what makes the stories real. When you zing in a little bit of truth, now you believe anything and everything. Because now CM Punk is shooting now. He brought up the Bella. He brought up Miss Bella.
How do you?
Well, welcome back, Bill. Welcome to my show.
He did, and what was amazing is, there. Well, thank you. I don't know why I'm plugged in here I'm hardwired, so I don't know why this is happening. But anyway,
I have it happen too on hardwire, and it baffles me.
Yeah, no, with the Bella thing is, I would have thought that as much of a megastar John Cena is, that they probably ran it past him first. Do you have a problem doing this? If not, we'll put it on the other brand. And they probably, just being professional. Why they brought her back at this period of time, I have no clue. No clue. But somebody told me they have a new reality series coming out. Yeah.
Right.
There's another.
Why they brought back Nikki Bella?
Because
they wanted.
Oh yeah. That one baffled me too.
Yeah.
But of course they ran it by Cena. They're not doing anything on that.
Or they're going to create a storyline.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me chime in here real quick. It definitely seems as if the Nikki Bella return is because to promote the Evolution, because she was one of the key figures of the original Evolution pay-per-view. So it definitely seems like that was the case. I think that they should have spent more time with developing, because they knew that an Evolution pay-per-view, a PLE was going to be a thing. They knew that was going to happen months ago. It just makes sense to me that Nikki Bella could have been involved in a more riveting, compelling story leading into the Evolution pay-per-view or PLE, even affiliated with, John Cena, you know what I mean? And so it definitely seems like, since was the spearhead of the Evolution PLE when it originated, I know that her and Liv, it seemed like that was going to be a match between the two, which would have been a good match. Now they just plugged her into the Battle Royal. It just seems like they should have spent more time with developing her instead of just throwing her in the Battle Royal.
Go ahead.
You know what would have been great? I think what would have been great was for her to come out when Cena was doing his thing at the beginning, and him to look at her and go, "What the hell are you doing here?"
All right.
I think that would have been very compelling.
Or save her as a secret weapon from Punk, to maybe not necessarily screw Cena out of the title, but at least the attempt thereof. Who better to do it? She's bitter over how this stuff ended.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if Nikki Bella would have, if John Cena would have had a little zinger within Nikki Bella, and Nikki Bella would have spent weeks saying, this is the reason. I mean, just give it all to us. I mean, people aren't living under a rock when it comes to understanding pro wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
We know that John Cena and Nikki Bella used to date. We know, through the series that Nikki wanted kids. John Cena didn't want kids. They wanted. We knew all of that, right? And so, what could have happened would be to bring that back up. And that could have been a compelling storyline leading into Evolution. And then what you do is you take Night of Champions, CM Punk versus John Cena. Nikki Bella's going for the ball shot, with John Cena. And then all of a sudden, boom, ball shot with Punk and helps John Cena. And people are like, whoa, what's going on?
Purposely or accidentally?
I would say purposely, and then people not knowing what's going on, and that's their way of making amends with each other and out of respect. hold on, but CM Punk has an ace in the hole as well. That ace in the hole is AJ Lee, and so I think AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella would have been a very huge marquee match.
AJ's great on television. AJ's great on television. Why is she not there?
Exactly. I agree. Yeah. Bill, what you got? What are you about to say?
They can't have AJ Lee in there because they can't have AJ Lee in the company at this point because they have AJ Styles. People get confused.
I think they had both before.
I think they have had both before. You're going to have to give me another reason, Bill.
So let's talk about.
Bill, you've been around too long.
This guy that's coming Saturday night.
Yes,
I'm glad you got to bring him back to reality, Doctor.
Yes, always, every week, Teddy.
Every week. Huh?
Yes. All right, Bill. You got the floor, my brother. Bill Goldberg.
I'm never in reality.
He's freezing. You're freezing up again.
Is Bill blaming tornadoes?
To me, this is the only show the only show I have internet problems with. Kenny Brolin, what's going to happen Saturday night when this guy goes against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship?
Saturday night. What's the match? Give me the matchup again. Luther versus
Gunther versus Goldberg.
This guy, his big comeback.
Oh, Gunther versus Goldberg.
Heavyweight Championship.
Well, obviously you can't have a 121-year-old guy. No offense, Bill. Obviously, you can't have a 121-year-old guy coming in beating Gunther. Gunther is one of the aces that they're wanting to really elevate in this company. There are some people that think more highly of Gunther than I do. My son is one of them. To me, there's something missing with Gunther, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. I don't know if it's the look. I don't know. The promos are solid. But there's something there to where I don't put him in the class of maybe some of the other stars, and I don't know what it is. Just something for me is not there with Gunther.
Well, since you didn't see Raw on Monday night,
I did not see Raw
Monday night because you don't have.
I don't have the Netflix.
No, I know, and because you don't have Netflix. But when Goldberg came out and confronted, I understand. But when Goldberg came out and confronted Gunther, Dr. Chris, did you see it?
Of course I did. Yeah,
the fans went nuts for Goldberg.
Oh yeah. Providence isn't a marquee crowd. Like Providence isn't a marquee crowd. Like if they were in Boston or New York City or Atlanta or Chicago, they would have probably booed that segment. I think putting them in Providence was a good call. I think that was smart to put that segment in a crowd that is more traditional than trying to put themselves over. I think that's
I didn't see it. Why would they have booed that segment?
Because smarky crowds like to boo to put themselves over.
They do. I grant you that.
So I think that probably would have happened if it was in a I
would rather dive and do shows in New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York.
Philly, of course. Yeah.
Philly's the worst. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Phil's horrible. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So here's my take.
Right now,
Go ahead, Bill. Bill's
right now I've lived in the Philly area.
It's going to be good television if a tornado blows Bill away on this show. That's going to be good TV.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Go ahead, Bill. I got something to say, but go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
But what I'm saying is, I've been in Philly. I think I've been a Philly resident for over 30 years now. Suburbs of Philly, not in Philly. But the audiences are very demanding. Dr. Chris, what you did say about Atlanta, though, not working, they will cheer anything Bill Goldberg does in Atlanta.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. I'll grant you Atlanta. Typically Atlanta is a bit smarky, but
what's happening in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Well, he did play ball there for quite some time too.
He did. Yeah. He's a Georgia.
I think they're going to go all the way with him. I think they're going to go all the way with Goldberg.
I used to make jokes that Goldberg.
They're going to put the belt on him.
I used to make jokes that Goldberg was so bad that they were going to start his entrances at home on the toilet.
Yes,
his music would start, and he would be home on the toilet flipping through a magazine. He would get up, grab his magazine, go to the cab, go to the fly him to the town, and the music would be playing.
Still going on. Yes,
get him in the ring, 3-second match, and then he goes back.
Yes.
You saw that one.
And that is actually, and even Kenny is shorter than. Hold on, Bill. Even that Kenny is shorter than an opening segment of today's current Raw and SmackDown.
You might be right. Bill on the toilet flipping through a magazine, and the music hits. He knows it's time to go to the ring. I'd have paid to see that.
Yes.
What I compared Goldberg with back then, with Mike Tyson, where it was that short 1-round kill.
Yep, and that's what he was known for. Absolutely.
So whatever they did with Goldberg, they did it right.
Yes, WCW did, not so much WWE, because it was more lengthy matches, which basically was it killed his momentum. I mean, he's not. Yeah, he's
not a Bill Goldberg thing as long matches.
Exactly.
Here's the biggest star. In your opinion, who's the biggest star in the company right now?
I would still give that to Cena. I mean, since he's full time again, but I would say Roman Reigns would be the biggest star
between who and who.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, he's very part-time right now. What do you owe the rise of Jey Uso to? Because 2.5 years ago, I said to get him out of the company.
That's a good
question. So what do you owe the rise of Jey Uso to? What do you think caused that?
The gimmick, the yeet thing, hold on.
Yeah, but you can only take the yeet so far.
Agreed.
No, not according to his fans.
Well, all right. You might put up.
I think this is a fad. I like Jey. I like
Jey too. I like him.
But I do think that once you're dealing with modern day pro wrestling fans, it's a very fad culture, and it's very like, hey, Jey Uso's cool right now. I think what gives Jey Uso the advantage now is that the adult crowd is getting tired of him, but the children love.
The kids ain't going away anytime soon.
They're not going anywhere. No. So that's actually going to help him tremendously,
especially if he keeps picking up kids on the way to the ring.
Exactly. Yes, going down.
He knows what he's doing.
Yes, going down the steps, picking up the kids, stuff like that. Right there is going to guarantee you at least another 2 or 3 years of same song and dance because the kids are going to love it.
Real quick, I know this is a shorter show than what I do because mine just goes until we get tired of talking. One thing I want to get in real quick is how proud I am to have been associated in helping develop and mentor the Final Four that we just saw on the recent WWE pay-per-view. When you open the show with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, when you open the show with Cody and Randy, they have been around me for 25 years, especially Randy. Randy showed up in late 99, early 2000. And then you have Cena and CM Punk, and the tornado has shown up and Bill's gone.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Those four were with me for quite some time. Randy and I still text each other quite a bit. I don't hear so much from Brock Lesnar. Then you throw Batista into that group. And The Miz, who's hanging around there for quite some time, and who's the guy?
Shelton Benjamin was in the 2002 class.
Shelton Benjamin, and then Wade Barrett doing a fine job as an announcer, and then the swordsman. God dang it, Drew McIntyre. Now I never managed with or against Drew. I was mainly doing commentary by the time Drew showed up. Miz used to call me Dad. I managed him a couple of times on OVW TV. But to think those guys are all still around doing great jobs, and I would hope all of them are multimillionaires. If not, they're pretty damn close to it.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. Before we go, I wanted to chime in.
What a class is all I can say, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. 2002 class is probably one of the best, most successful classes of pro wrestling history. That 02 class. I mean,
it'd be hard to beat. And I'm saying that because I was there. That's a good group of people.
Yeah. The 02 class is Batista, Orton, Cena, Benjamin. I mean, and those four people have been
Lesnar right around there at that time as well.
Yeah, Brock was, it was, but it was Cena was like 99, 2000, but 02 is when he debuted. I think it was June of 2000
when he debuted. Yeah, because I beat Cena on TV in September of 02.
Okay,
you'll never have anybody else on this show that beat John Cena in 02.
So I think it was Cena, Batista, Orton.
Rico was right around that same era.
Yeah. And Brock, we mentioned before. Before we go, I do want to chime in to as far as the Gunther thing, and I think you brought a really interesting point there. As far as what is missing,
very highly of him, Gunther. And my son's one of them. And I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just saying there's something there that doesn't make him my number one guy in the company.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm anxious to hear your
I think what's missing with Gunther. I think what's missing with Gunther is I don't like how he's being booked this year. Last year, especially the year before, when he was on that just killing spree, when he was the Intercontinental Champion, he kept it for a long time. The way that they made the way that they made him champion, the way that they were building him was very traditional. Old school heel. Is going
beat
to
the Honky Tonk Man's record, didn't he, for Intercontinental? Didn't he beat the record?
Yeah. He's going to keep plowing through talent, coming like formidable talent. Keep going through them, setting all that up for the babyface at the end to get that rub. That's a traditional one-on-one type of booking, right? What helped him was the fact that Imperium was still around. So he was that chicken crap heel, but he was also still the machine all at the same time. I think the fact that Kaiser and he became Fabian Ochner.
Where's Ludwig Kaiser been lately? I haven't seen much of him lately.
He wasn't used, and then he came back on Raw. He was looking backstage when American Made was in shambles and in peril, and then last night
he has a great look for what they do with him. You look at him, and immediately you think you can whip his butt. There's just not much to that frame, but he's got an amazing look for what they do with him. And I always liked him with Gunther, but I thought the other guy was dead weight. We needed another one just like Ludwig to where to have the look and the image and that loyalty to Gunther. And I thought, I told my son the other guy's dead weight, and eventually, apparently, the company agreed with me is that he was dead weight and he had to go. But they needed another one just like Kaiser to be with Gunther.
Yeah, their NXT run.
The tornado blew back in.
Yeah, he blew him right back in. The Imperium was very successful in NXT with the three of them because the team would oftentimes protect Gunther from any losing. Type of they would come in and he was about to lose, and then they would distract, and that would keep him having those long reigns, that's that horseman like booking, right? Like that's the reason why Flair had those long reigns, because he's so close to losing to protect him. He's so close to losing to TA. He's so close to losing to Wyndham. However, just in the nick of time, you'll get the DQ finish with the horseman attacking or distracting the ref, and then you got the ball shot. And so that's that horseman style booking what they had with Imperium, and it works. But now there's no Imperium. There's nobody with Gunther. It doesn't make him feel like standing in front of a
Mhm.
pack. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. It lessens his
I agree
aura.
with that. That's
He's
a good
not
point
leader
to
of a
make. I
pack.
agree with that.
Yeah.
As I knew, one other
Kenny,
thing I
one of
want.
the things that you said was there one other thing that you said earlier about there's something missing with Gunther, and
Yeah.
I agree. He's got his promos are very good, but there's a very bland
Hmm.
type of old school
They
wrestler
lack
in
oomph.
him, and that
Yes.
They lack oomph.
they lack the sports entertainer quality. He's
Hmm.
not a sports entertainer. He's a
Yeah.
pro wrestler. He's
That's
going
another good
along
point.
with it,
That's
but
another good point.
but sometimes it makes him look too weak when somebody will just come out and he'll back up or something. But yeah, he's not in it. He
Yes.
basically wrestles that European style. That's where he
Hmm.
came from, and I
Yeah.
don't think he can just get rid of that. He still wants to be that technical wrestling guy, and he's trying his best to mix in with the entertainment part of
In the
this.
WWE, there's only so far the European style is going to take you.
Correct. Absolutely. Yep. Indeed.
Correct.
The
All right,
other thing,
gentlemen.
real quick, the other thing I'm tired of in pro wrestling is everybody wants to wear a suit to the show. You're a professional wrestler. You might be a businessman, but you're not there to do business. You're not there to be a CEO. I'm tired of Cody wearing suits. Cody's not a suit guy. Dusty Rhodes was not a suit guy. He did it every now and then because Ric Flair did it. I'm tired of suits in pro wrestling. I like Cody better when he wears his big raincoat or whatever it is he's wearing to the ring. Put Gunther in his wrestling attire because you're a wrestler. You're not a CEO of some important company. You're not coming there to sign a deal. Be wrestlers, not businessmen. We want to watch businessmen. We'll let Mark Cuban host that show.
Very nice. Yes, very nice. Very nice.
We need
Yes. Great promo there, Kenny, to send us off.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Schmaltz.
Say that again, Bill.
Schmaltz.
There you go. Schmaltz.
That's the other word for oomph.
There you go. I'll take that.
All right, Bill, let us know where to find you, my man, outside of the once you recover from this tornado.
Up a tree.
Well, no, luckily we had no tornado, but Comcast is going to hear from me tomorrow. This is the only podcast that I do out of 3 of them that we always have a frozen signal, and I don't know why.
The night does not like you,
but
Bill.
After One Wrestling on X.
Yes, indeed.
I've got the I got the Spectrum 1 gig over here. What are you using, Doc?
Spectrum.
Spectrum. I had the AT&T, but I got the Spectrum 1 gig for half the price of what I was paying for AT&T for 300 megabytes. So there's my sales promotion for Spectrum.
We've got great Comcast here. We have booming Comcast here. But for this show, not for this show, it's amazing.
Tell us how great it is, Bill, if you can.
Yes, indeed. All right, Kenny, where can we find you?
Right there.
Where can we find you, Kenny Bolin?
You can find me over on, I also use StreamYard with a fine internet over there. I am on the Bowling Alley, sometimes known as the Starbaker Bowling Show. I'm on 9 p.m. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, occasional weekends if I feel like doing it. As a matter of fact, I left my show tonight to come right over here and be a part of this big extravaganza and to see if Bill Apter gets blown up his pine tree or not.
Wonderful. Find me at Chris Prolific. I'm heading over to Pancakes and Power Slams YouTube page. That's my weekly page where I have my my classes. Today I'm going to talk about along with the Goldberg of why the IWC dislikes Goldberg and where that come from. And so I'm going to talk about the psychology of being blacklisted. And what that means and how that came about. So it's going to be an interesting class for tonight. So come join me over at Pancakes and Power Slams. We got Bill Apter. We got Kenny Bolin. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, everybody. You're next.